Before anything else, allow your awareness to notice that you are here. Not conceptually, not philosophically, but physically. Notice where your body is in contact with the ground, the chair, the surface beneath you. Notice weight. Notice presence. Nothing needs to change. This space is not asking you to improve yourself. It is not asking you to transcend your body. It is not asking you to rise above your life. It is asking something quieter. Inhabitation. Most of us were taught to live around our bodies rather than within them. We learn to manage sensation, to override discomfort, to think our way through experience, to treat the body as something to fix, train, optimize, or correct. Consciousness learned to hover, to supervise, to stay slightly above what was being felt. Inhabitation is the return of consciousness to the place it never truly left, but often stopped listening to. The body has always been here. Breath has always been moving. Sensation has always been communicating. What wandered was awareness. Inhabitation is not a practice you perform. It is not something you do correctly or incorrectly. It is a relational shift. It is consciousness choosing to live from within form rather than observing it from a distance. When consciousness returns to the body, effort softens, urgency quiets. The need to perform relaxes its grip. You may notice less striving, less internal commentary, more space between impulse and action. This is not because anything has been fixed. It is because something has settled. The body does not need to be managed when it is inhabited. It does not need to be overridden when it is listened to. It does not need to be pushed when it is trusted. Inhabitation does not ask you to become someone new. It asks you to remain, to stay with sensation, to stay with breath, to stay with the present moment as it is. This space is not about self-improvement. It is not about productivity. It is not about becoming a better version of yourself. It is about returning consciousness to where life is already happening. Here, sensitivity is not something to harden against. Emotion is not something to suppress. Breath is not something to control. Everything is allowed to be experienced from within. Take a moment now to feel weight again. Feel support. Feel that you are being held by something larger than effort. Inhabitation is not something we will study together. It is something we will return to slowly over time. In the weeks ahead, I will begin to share the architecture that supports this way of being. not as a system to follow, not as a map to master, but as a way of understanding what you may already be sensing. Inhabitation is not something to master, it is something to remember. This is where it begins, not above the body, but within it. With elemental grace, I am Terra.